Hey, Ridgeworks. Bonus points to anybody that gets the file names. Hey, Salty Spittoon. The first things to know about StarTropics is that you need to talk to NPCs to progress the story in a lot of places. Also playing this with a patch that fixes some broken music. Vanilla game. Oh. Fine. Oh my. Poor pig. I know from watching speedruns you don't actually have to talk to the pig, but I wanted to anyway. It's only in StarTropics 2 that it has special sound effect. If anyone has never seen this game before, it's very heavily inspired by Zelda 1, I would say. It has some RPG elements thrown in, along with some like very light platform, like overhead platforming. Projected time, probably about 2 hours. I know the last time I played through this a couple years ago, it took about 2 hours. Like an actual speed run would be about 1 hour. Like I think the world record is like 1:04. Something important to know about how jumping works in this game too is that you can only jump straight up most of the time. You can only jump forward if you're going over a tile or water pit or something. Forgotten how to do this room. Need to go in here, but I wanted to remember what in here. There it is. Side. As you can see, my starting weapon is a yo-yo. There's special weapons you can find in each dungeon, too. I got a fireball. Let's be over here. I know there's a secret door there that leads to some potions. Am I gonna choose the snake? No, I'm gonna fight it. I'll point out what Bulbo is talking about, though. Hey, Schmarble, hey, Frith. Yeah, this was a favorite of mine as a kid. Been a couple years since I've played through it. Hey, Bogus DD. Hey, Cadmac. Yes, I'm one of the lucky people that actually got to learn the password to the sub by actually dipping a letter in water. But I'll explain that more relevant. Hey, Dine. Some fireballs because I have plenty. Potions give you, I think it's either 5 or 6 hearts, and you cannot carry them with you out of the dungeon you get them in, so lose or lose, basically. Go. That was the sea serpent, spelled with a C. And yeah, the speedrun is able to skip that boss actually just with a damage boost. Like you let the fireball hit you, and then you just pass through the snake's body while you're in iframes, and you can just skip it. Oh, as far as what the music fix patch is, link a video here that explains it much better than I can. Yeah, that's a 5-minute YouTube video from the guy that made the patch. Like, this music right here that you'll be hearing a lot of whenever I'm on the overworld is broken in the original game and has a missing accompaniment track that this patch fixes. Hey, Harlequin casts. Always thought it was kind of odd that you never actually get to see the inside of Dr. J's lab. You just enter it and then immediately get in the sub. Seeing some product placement for Rob, the robot. Hey, how'd those people get to the north side of the island, given that there's no town there and you have to go through a monster-infested tunnel to cross the mountains? I'm playing it on my EverDrive. Hey, this happened. No. No. Okay, fine. When you're in the sub, there's these secret passages that you actually have to figure out how in order to actually finish this chapter. Hey, Sunnyberry. Oh, glad to hear. I'm a little less than happy with how my run went for Harvey Relief done quick, but I'm glad people enjoyed it and definitely had a lot of fun. A small chance that Sabin and Edgar just die from Medio. Yeah, well, with the route I used, there's actually a pretty large chance that Sabin dies to Medio, just because, you'd have to, in order for him to survive it, you'd have to get a very low roll. So, I mean, Edgar is extremely likely to block it, with his magic evade, so I basically just accept the small risk of Edgar failing to block it, and then if Sabin dies, I have Gogo use a Phoenix Down on him, or I summon Phantom and then kill it with Ice 3. After getting that ID code, now I can submerge in these special spots here. I mean, when I changed up the route to make Edgar the tank instead of Celis, that's accepting a lot of it's accepting a moderate amount of risk of Edgar getting hit, and only having about 600 HP. Am I submitting for AGDQ 18? No. I don't really have anything right now that I feel would be worth my time to submit, worth the Games Committee's time to look at. Probably submit something for next SGDQ too. I did a Chrono Trigger glitchless run. I've had plenty of runs, and I'll probably end up helping with commentary for at least one game. Appreciate the compliment, though. I'm definitely planning to submit Chrono Trigger glitchless for next year's RPG Limit Break, too. And I'd probably submit that for AGDQ if the Chrono Trigger hadn't literally just been in SGDQ. But yeah, that Rasp strat definitely looks pretty safe. I mean, it looks like it costs a couple minutes to Rasp all of Sleep's MP, but that's certainly a lot less time than a death would cost there. I mean, going back to the Celis tanking route and either grinding Sabin a bit to make up the damage from her not having earrings or getting the gem box. Another thing I'd consider if I wanted to do a safer percent glitchless route for an event of some kind. Hey, Dankbucks. Baseball bat. Well, I mean, if I know I'm gonna be sitting still for several hours like this, I generally just prepare for it by like not drinking a ton of soda or anything that's not water, basically. As long as I'm prepared, I can generally do like at least do some kind of run that's under 6 hours without a break. I still play Parasite Eve. Not too often. It's been a long time since I've done a speedrun of Parasite Eve, but I don't know. Maybe someday I'll run it again. Okay, snowman. Some doors I didn't go and do at a potion. Oh, I had to wait for him to get all the way up. I know with the right rhythm, you can one cycle Octo the Huge. Yeah, my old runs are all listed in my Twitch bio. Pretty much all of them are on my YouTube channel too. My marathon runs, at least, along with my personal bests. Going pretty well. I've played this game many times, so I don't care about spoilers or anything. Hey Lauren, evening sir. Why don't I have a sub button? It's in my FAQ in my Twitch bio. Short version is I don't feel like I need it at this time. It's what I want to do with my streaming and gaming in general. So we just had two chapters that took me like under 10 minutes each. Now we've got chapter 3, which is about a third of the entire game. Like I said, a speedrun of this game is about a bit over an hour, and chapter 3 in a speedrun takes like 20 minutes of that. Of course, you drink it and feel much better, which is this game's equivalent of "but you're still hungry." Get that text every time you talk to somebody that heals you in a town, basically. Yeah, what Gunarm Dine said, this chapter is where the game starts to get serious. I think it levels off a little bit after you get the Morning Star, though, which is the first standard weapon upgrade. Bolas! I've got some classic Wizard of Oz enemies here. Yeah, there's a pretty special sneaking subplot coming up in chapter 3. Mods, can you make sure that YouTube link is okay? Something hidden over... Nope. And yes, I do actually have to jump on these tiles, by the way, too. You can't just walk over, Okay, as long as it's appropriate. I'm just very suspicious of just random links posted in chat with no context provided. What's my day job in data center information technology? Really like to get more specific than that. There's something over here. I know that door is the way to the exit. Oh! Alright! A false exit. Well, at least I can heal before going back in. Still sounds kind of odd to me with the music actually fixed too. For people that don't know, the music for the overworld is actually broken in the normal game. There's a missing accompaniment track, and I'm playing this on my. I do have a card of this, which I've had since childhood, but right now I'm playing on my EverDrive so that I can play with a patch that fixes the music. The overworld music and also part of the ending music that's broken. Just looking forward to hearing the restored ending. I think this is one of those games where even though there isn't really a lot of variety in the music, it's good enough that you don't really get sick of it. Like this is the dungeon theme for most of the dungeons in the game. I'm killing stuff with my yo-yo. By Casey. I've also got some bolas right now too, because pretty much every dungeon has special weapons that you can find with a very heavy baseball and Caribbean island theme too. This is actually a game made in Japan, but only released in English-speaking countries, too. It's a little unique, I'd say. Alright, now for the real exit. Wow, you... Maricola. Bananette. Chieftain's daughter here. This is actually blackmail, by the way, too, because you do have to tell Miss Maricola that she's pretty. in order to get credit towards advancing the story. In most of the towns in this game, you have to talk to most, if not all, of the NPCs in order to unlock something that you need to progress. In this case, it's access to the chief. All the games I've played, which one took me the longest to complete? That's a toughie. I guess it depends on how you define complete, as in just beat the game or as in do everything. Like the single game that I would probably guess that I've sunk the most time into outside of that's not that I haven't speedran is Final Fantasy X, just because I know I put about at least 100 hours in because of doing all the Monster Arena quests and stuff. Hey, it does a body good, after all. I talked to enough people to get into Bananette's room. Thanks, Coolicious. Alright, so I know talking to Bananette unlocks the east exit to Miracola. Yeah, we'll get into the infamous password next chapter. Oops. I missed my bolas already, also I guess there was no reason to actually fight all of those. These are pretty creepy enemies, if I might add. They're like ostriches with human skull heads. Ah yes, this room where you have to kind of use the positioning of the snakes as a cue for, and just the enemies in general is kind of a visual cue for where to go in the dark. Kind of a clever concept for a room. It's kind of game mechanics, I'd say. Yes, Ape Lord, very much agreed. I mean, this game was really unique for its day. It's pretty clearly inspired pretty heavily by the first Legend of Zelda, but it throws in some RPG and overhead platforming elements too to make a pretty unique package. Along with also just being a very American theme, or North American I should say, themed game on the NES, which was not really a thing yet too. Like I'd say most other NES games, pretty poorly localized. Assuming they had like any kind of story or text or whatever. Not really. I guess that's not really a fair generalization, but NES games with lots of text that were actually like really competently translated were kind of uncommon. Like the Dragon Warriors were alright for what they were. Yeah, Shane. I think if somebody played these today for the first time, they'd probably get a little frustrated with the movement mechanics, because like there's a lot of lag when you move or turn. Basically, it's a little obnoxious if you're not used to it. And then there's the fact that you can't jump over stuff unless you're jumping over water or tiles or stuff. But I mean, I've been playing this game since it first came out, so I mean, I'm fine with that. Some hearts. Alright, so let's see. One of them's over here. So this is kind of an interesting boss in that you don't actually attack him directly. The way you win is by making him fall into the water. Ah! that was effectively a double KO too. There's a stopwatch down here. Oh, it doesn't stop them completely, it just slows them down. Still kinda nice. I think I'll get the double hearts on the left side row platforms this time. And proceed to lose one of them. You have the pattern. That's kind of it's the right timing. This is very easy. All right, got him. That is Magma the Fierce, I believe, is this boss. A fire giant that chooses to live on an easily detachable platform above water. Roast rats. Those points mean absolutely nothing too, and I know there's actually a little logic to how they're calculated. Like I think you start with a score and then actually lose points for killing enemies, but it means nothing really. Yeah, Brosentia, thanks for the host. Xena, where are you? Somebody's going to regret this. It's my one and only Xena quote that I know. How did the Xena runs go? This dungeon is very, very trolly. There's a bunch of hidden doors that you need to find in order to avoid just hitting false exits that take you out of the dungeon. I don't know if this is actually, I don't remember if this actually goes anywhere or just takes me to a false exit. And I got invisible enemies too. Wow, that's what I call a D-rest. Yes, welcome in people from Brosentia's stream. Been kind of itching to play this game for a while since I saw since I saw lots of people playing it for the Big 20 NES race lately, so just doing a playthrough with the music restoration patch. Might do a Crystallis run afterwards, depending on how long this takes. Yeah, seeing a bunch of people voluntarily playing Tintin Prisoners of the Sun was something I didn't think I'd see in my lifetime. Usually there has to be some kind of trickery by Brosentia involved in order for people to play Tintin games. Yeah, that bird stage. Fun, Mr. Skull. Actually, I'm pretty sure those stairs there are a false exit, and I think there's a secret passage somewhere around here. Yes, we are indeed murdering wildlife with a yo-yo. I want to say that the correct exit is in one of the side walls. Well, I think I'm stuck in here, so let's see. Is this taking me anywhere? Yeah, false exit. Well, time to take the other fork this time. This dungeon is such a troll. This way this time. I do vaguely remember calling Nintendo Power Counselors for help with this game once, but it was not for getting the password to the sub. I did, in fact, learn the password to the sub by dipping my letter in water. I did get this when it first came out. I know it's somewhere near here. Unless it was in that last room I was in and I just wasn't pushing into the wall hard enough. Getting my super pitfall strats on. Or, I'm sorry, super pitfall. Yeah, I think I'm stuck in here. Oh, time to start the dungeon over. What does the music patch do? Let me link a YouTube video that explains it far better than I can. It fixes 2 tracks on the soundtrack that are broken in the normal game. One of them you hear a lot, which is the overworld theme, and the other is part of the ending. Yeah, I would imagine the letter probably costs more than the cartridge does. I think StarTropics carts are like $10 or less at used game stores. It's not a very rare game. Yeah, when OmniGamer ran Suikoden 2 for RPG Limit Break last year, he did a donation incentive to play with the music patch. It's kind of a nice touch, given I think he said that some of the broken music means that there's just literally silence instead. This room is pretty nuts in a speedrun, I know, because you don't actually get the flashlight or whatever it is. You just have to memorize the movement of the ghosts and dodge them. So maybe there's a switch I need to hit in this room. Yeah, the broken music is actually pretty hard to notice, just because in the overworld theme it's the accompaniment track that's broken, and in the ending it's the bass line. You pretty much have to watch that video I just linked in order to actually even be able to recognize the difference if you're not like super familiar. Here, okay, here we go. This looks more familiar now. Oh, yep. One of these rooms has hidden ghosts in it. Okay, I think that's just for getting these hearts, but I know there's another room that has hidden ghosts that's required in order to get to the boss. Oh, okay, this is the room with the hidden... Yeah, because... Yeah, you can actually see the shadow in the wall by the stairs there is kind of a cue that that's where you're supposed to go, along with having that slug guarding it. I don't really remember why, but I remember actually being pretty hyped to get this game when it came out. I don't know if it was because of Nintendo Power or what. StarTropics 2 is a lot of fun too. I'll probably play that kind of soon too, though probably not tonight, because depending on how long this takes, I might do a Crystallis run afterwards. Try to keep from getting too rusty at that. I do not remember what this did. Oh, I guess this is probably just to let you see in dark rooms without hitting a light tile. Okay, that's probably the point of coming down here then, is to get that, so you can see in that dark room with the sinking tile in it. Oh, it doesn't last very long. That's a little obnoxious. Yeah, the controls for this game are actually a little on the stiff side, so I don't blame people for not really being able to get into it. StarTropics 2 has much freer controls, but it also has a pretty big drawback in that you don't really get iframes when you get hit. StarTropics 2 also has diagonal movement instead of being pretty rigidly tile-based. Hey, those mummies can just walk over the tiles willy-nilly. I could have slowed them down, I guess. Okay, so I think this room, yeah, I would to say that room I think has hidden ghosts that are actually required in order to get to the boss. I guess maybe they're more technically floor masters, but this dungeon doesn't need actual wall masters just because of the dungeon map tricking you into leaving it without the need of monsters. Oh wait. Oh, did I miss the mirror? Because yeah, these enemies I think you can't actually be killed without a trigger. I might have to just jump into the lake, actually, if I can't actually damage them. Yeah, that's trolly, that you get stuck in here with... You have to actually kill yourself to get out. Yeah, there is a way to get extra lives, but it's also kind of trolly in that, oh, I lost my flashlight. Another one over here, or is this a false exit? Okay. I guess I was supposed to jump on the tiles in that room before the whiz robes in order to get the mirror. Yeah, that is true. You do have lives in Zelda 2. Wait. So, the next room after this was the whiz robes. Not anything in here. Besides the flashlight. So there's no invisible ghosts there. Hey, lol spike. Oh, another. Okay, I thought there were only 2 rooms before the his robes. Yeah, going pretty good. So this is how you fight these guys, and the only way you can fight them. That was a lot of damage, though. Oh, I think if I'd have actually gotten that star, that would have given me a heart too. Back here again, on my last life too. Well, I'm most of the way through this place, I know. I think that room I died in is like, maybe like 4 or 5 rooms away from the boss. Hey, Dark Shadow Rage. I'm going pretty good. Just taking it easy tonight. Yeah, I mean, other than having to start the whole dungeon over, there's no lasting consequences for game overing. Oh no, I've played this many times. It's been a couple of years, but I mean, I've had the game since it first came out. I'm not playing on my original cart though. I'm playing on my EverDrive, so I can play with a music restoration patch. Not take so much damage from the Wizrobes this time. Oh, nice, Nordient. I've never actually gotten 4 out of 4 news. I think 3 is the most I've ever gotten. Yeah, 4 out of 4 would be the run of runs. Yeah, I'll probably be back to Chrono Trigger next Sunday. Salty run back. I thought that was the last of them. Fine getting some more health before having to fight Maxie the Ghost, but I can take this kind of safe. None of these stuff is too hard to avoid if you give it some distance. Alright. There's a 5-minute YouTube video that explains the music patch much better than I ever could. Oh, you've done it! Kind of forget if the game really gives you a reason to go here, too, other than just that this is the only place you really can go that's not blocked off at this point. Get to have some Matoya's cave, or Matoya's crystal throwback here. Yeah, like this, the overworld theme here normally has a broken accompaniment track. This patch fixes it. Yeah, I guess, yeah, if you actually go talk to the fortune teller before going through the ghost tunnel, yeah, I think she probably tells you to go there. Radicola. I don't think it occurred to me as a kid that this is the female symbol on the ground here until seeing it in other places. A shell. She really accepts that quite quickly that you have a cold. But at least we get a nice weapon upgrade. Yeah, that's another mildly trolly thing too, is that when you get weapon upgrades you have to have, or if you take enough damage you actually lose them. Oh, actually, I forget if you actually need to talk to the head warrior in order to be able to go through this tunnel, or if just talking to Queen Shikola is enough. Guess we'll find out. Yeah, I think this would be making sounds if I'd actually met the requirements. So back to castle we go. Yeah, I guess that's definitely inspired by the Zelda sword beams. I don't know, I think losing your Morning Star and later Supernova in this game is a lot more punishing than losing your sword beams in Zelda 1, though. It's this one down here. Oh, nope, it's this one. Just don't mess up the password and say the killing curse instead. Right. Somebody help me here. And... Abracadabra! Of course, that's also making me think about a certain Bugs Bunny cartoon where Bugs and Dracula are turning each other into bats and mice and stuff, as I recall. Maybe it's just Bugs turning Dracula into a bat, saying abracadabra or hocus pocus. Yeah, this is the Morning Star, which is the second level yo-yo, basically. Gives you a nice... I think it does twice as much damage as the regular yo-yo, and gives you a little extra range. Like Queen Shikola said, you need 6 hearts or more to actually use it. I think that's the shortest dungeon in the whole game, I want to say. And it's only there just as a plot device to make you do the whole Shikola Castle thing. Still not done with Chapter 3 yet, still got one more dungeon to go. Poe, the poet. I guess that's your clue that you're supposed to jump into the geyser in this next place. Does the Famicom controller microphone actually do anything to pulse vices in Zelda 1? I know that that's basically a red herring in the NES version. Yeah, you do a lot of deception in Crystallis by pretending to be people you're not in order to get NPCs to give you stuff. Oh, are Pole's voices actually immune to your regular sword and stuff in the Famicom version of Zelda 1, or is that just like an Easter egg or something? Ah, their leap of faith to get bolas. Alright, the Frappas, I think these are called. They're basically Japanese kappas that are in a game never released in Japan. Also, get this one. Make up for all that damage I took in the ghost tunnel. Okay, I think this is actually the way I'm supposed to go. This room looks kind of familiar. What was to the north, if that was a dead end? Probably. I do remember a room where you have to fight Frappas to progress. a wood boy. Ah, yes, these enemies, which I always thought of as purple people eaters, although I think DW calls them Taurus bulbuses. Whatever the Darkwing Duck villain was. Need to get to the other side of the geyser there. Alright, the only invisible trigger tile in the game. Yeah, I mean, I do remember, I did find out, like, what the names of the bosses and stuff were as a kid, so I would assume I found out via the power of Nintendo Power. I think this kind of leads you in a loop, basically, and you eventually are just supposed to figure out that you need to get over here and then look for a hidden passage to get there. I have actually never played Fexanadu. I've heard it's a good game, albeit very hard. Bebob, bebob, uma, obob. Bebob, bebob, uma, obob. Get up, obob, uma, obob. Wake up, my bananette. Bebob, uma, obob. Bebob, bebob, uma, obob. Get up, obob, uma, obob. It's a Maricola. Good morning, Dad. I guess you know what? I don't think I've ever actually noticed before that there's all those doubled letters. Finally done with Chapter 3, which is like a third of the whole game. I think there were 5 dungeons total, I want to say, in Chapter 3. Chapter 4 has a grand total of 0. Most of the rest of the chapters is either 2 or 1. Yep, it's almost that time. 8. Name for a fisherman. I think this is the only guy you actually have to talk to activate the whale. Tuna Cola. Sushi Cola. Yeah, if you don't actually talk to the right NPC in Tuna Cola, you just go east indefinitely. Hey, Slick. So yeah, Chapter 4 is just pure overworld action. Fish with bad taste. Well, did eat us. We call that bad taste. quite a while before I actually need to get out of the sub. Thanks, T6. Yeah, this is the real bad taste here. Type it right. I'm pretty sure I do have a card to fix Xanadu. I've just never made the time to play it. Let's see, is it this one here? Let's say it's one that's just kind of randomly in the middle. It just took me backwards, yeah. That might be the one, yeah, that's the shortcut to get out, I think, is that it's just sitting in the middle of the place. Unsurprisingly, speedrunners hate this part of the game because it's several minutes of walking around. Hey, Drifting Skies, evening, sir. Is it this one? Short. Yeah, this is the shortcut. Smoky. Wonder why there's no song for the pointless whale, though, like there is for the overly long maze-like hallways. Like how the sub just kind of magically lands right next to the island, too. Dip my letter in water. No, that makes no sense whatsoever. Didn't say anything like that in the intro or anything. Okay, I'll just leave you marooned on this deserted island with nothing but one palm tree, sure. But, in the instruction booklet, wait, I didn't get an instruction booklet with this. So yeah, this game had one of the earliest versions of DLC, or copy protection, or whatever you want to think of it as, where there was actually a physical letter included with the game that you're meant to actually dip in water to find out what the password here is. Either that or it was a scheme to generate large amounts of revenue for Nintendo Power Counselor's Corner. I know they eventually posted the password in Nintendo Power because of probably just that. Okay, this is the chapter where I remember the story triggers the least. I think I need to talk to Chief Belcola first, and then go over to the east side of the island to get Peter the Parrot to appear. Miso, my bell, miso. Oh yeah, and then look, we've got a palette swap of Chief Coral Cola here, and now you've got much skinnier. No. Okay, fine. Okay, so I think I need to try to go into Captain Bell's shrine now, because I don't think Peter... Oh no, he is here. I do need to get the worm at least. Oh, so we went from no secret, no chat to no gift, no chat. We also get the not fun mechanic here of every time I get into the sub now, I have to talk to Rob. My name is Hook, so we have bait and hook. No. Is your name? Ooh! I forgot that there were Howard and Nestor references in this game. Yeah, getting into the dungeon in Chapter 5 is all about figuring out the password to, Captain Bell's shrine, but unfortunately you have to... This is one of those games where you have to learn the password in order to be able to input it. Yeah, GTF, I mean... How this ship is capable of blocking the strait with, but yet it's possible for you to sink it and then be able to get across doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. This is where, I think, well, actually, I think if when you step on the keys, it tells you the tone, but having any kind of knowledge of music gives you a huge advantage, I'd say, in figuring this out. Yeah, because, I mean, I have a submarine, which the pirates in the story of Captain Bell did not, so, I mean, I should have the technology to just go under the ship if there's enough water under it for it to be sinkable, but whatever, plot device to make me go explore a dungeon. Not a huge fan of this dungeon, too, just because it's a dungeon that's all about traps. Thanks for the host, or auto-host, Tasty Beer. Getting these hearts, by the way, only actually benefits you for the rest of the chapter, because this game isn't really sophisticated enough to save your health. So you just have a fixed number of hearts per chapter, and you always start with 3, which makes the end of chapter 7 very, very goofy. No, I think it's one of the dungeons of chapter 6 where I have to secret passage right in the first room. This trap becomes much easier to deal with when you realize you can just jump over that stretch there. Oops. Kinda forgot to hit the switch first. And now I lost my morning star. It kind of fell off there. Okay, that's more like it. Oh, I have to say, I know there's something not cool in this room. The spear traps. Alright, what do we get? We lost a life! Well, you know what, I'm just gonna start this over now, rather than try to make it through the whole rest of the dungeon with low health and 1 life. See the game over screen for the first time. Yeah, those signs randomly either add or remove lives. Hey, Sukigaru. You get through this trap room first. Okay, because I had to say, I didn't think there was a -2. Yeah, there's the details on the music fix patch. There's 2 tracks in the soundtrack that are broken in the normal game. One of them you hear constantly, which is the overworld theme, and the other is part of the ending. It's fairly subtle, too. It's not really something you're going to recognize unless you watch that video. Do I go through? Oh yeah, okay. Oh no, I guess I was supposed to take the top one. Oh, I guess this way. I think the whole floor does eventually fall out if you take too long to find the switch. Or if you can make it to that taller section or not in that cycle. Apparently bowling was really big in Captain Bell's day. Yeah, given that this game was made for a North American audience, I would probably assume that his last name being Jones is an Indiana Jones reference. It would have definitely been even more overt if Dr. J's name was Henry instead of Steven. Hey, D-Rock, evening, sir. A lot of bats. Yeah. Yeah, I've been definitely been itching to do a playthrough for a while, ever since I saw a bunch of people playing it for the NES 20 race weekend. These things suck to fight without the Morning Star. This is my first time playing it with the music patch, too. Oh! The old switcheroo and the block color, huh? There's a 5-minute video that explains the music patch. Alright. Just I can get some hearts. Hey, Bad Breaks, morning, sir. Oh, okay, so this room has hearts and death in it. Nice combo. You get that. I know there's hidden ghosts I need to kill somewhere in order to make progress. I would guess I've probably already gone through their room, given that I'm in a loop now. Hey, Jofro. this room. Hey, Naram. Hey, Ildidar. Ah, thanks. I was hoping for a better time, but people seemed to enjoy it, and I had a great time doing the run. And to hang out with Essentia on commentary. There we go. Yeah, every time you do something, you make the beeping escalate. Oh! Those frames away from death, I'm sure. Yeah, $300 is way too much for an Earthbound cart. I mean, they're not cheap, but you should be able to fairly easily get one for like $150 or so, I would think. Alright, finally done with chapter 5. Like, I'm not really a fan of that dungeon, just because it's a dungeon that's all about traps, basically. Some of them have some pretty clever designs, like the, well, like some of the ones with spears and stuff, but, not really a fan of kind of making you just wander around lost and eventually using the, flashlight everywhere. Oh, and no, this is not My Country 'Tis of Thee, by the way. This is God Save the Queen, since Captain Bell was British. We, in America, kind of stole God Save the Queen and turned it into America the Beautiful. Hey, T6. This is the last chapter that actually has islands and the sub and stuff. Oh, there's a town around here somewhere you aren't actually required to go to. Yeah, destroying a priceless historical artifact just so he can get through his little strait and save his uncle. That is a steal of a deal, Lauren. I think 90 Canadians, like 60, 70 US dollars right now. How do you do, Cola? Boy, I'm a game master. Impose poem. Are you a game master? You can't actually tell him what the poem is, too. Dr. Oh. That's not good if there's a Dr. PJ on the loose. Yeah, in before instant soft lock as soon as I leave this place. Oh hey! Maybe the Mondo Bolt or the Guardian Diggers in Earthbound are throwbacks to this lady and How Do You Do Cola, by the way. You must have bananas in your ears! Where? And now I'm kind of sad that you don't actually have to go to How Do You Do Cola in order to progress. Let's see. I need to dive somewhere. This way. Maybe it's up, actually. Yeah, it's up this way. Diving puzzle, I guess, is later. Oh, I want the big apple. Like, just because I can. I know there's a big apple, and I think in that staircase over there. Somebody stole it. Ah, I'm very sorry to hear that. Alright, gimme, 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 gimme. It better not be a heart. Ah, I want the apple. Back to the drawing board for finding my apple. Illusion of Gaia is not a very expensive game. Like, I would think you could get just card only for, like, under $30. Like, I'm not normally into, like, collecting games with boxes and manuals and everything, but since I was able to get a boxed Illusion of Gaia card for $50, I did so a few years back. Here we go! You've got a big apple! Nom 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 nom. So is it okay? So is it this way? I wasn't even paying attention to the layout. So can I go this way? Yes. Chapter 6, until we get to the dungeons, is basically just a submarine maze. Rob Crucicola? I don't think there's actually anything or that subtle reference there. One it was. All of those other diving points there just go to each other, basically. This is the one that goes forward. I don't think this is really working. Maybe it was, actually. I kind of have a feeling I'm in a loop now. 'Cause, yeah, it takes me back over there. Yeah, the dead end. What's the best way to sell SNES cards? I'm really not too familiar with means of doing that other than eBay. This it, or is this where the apple was? Yeah, I think that's where the apple was. Oh, no, the apple was northwest of here. I guess that's just an empty room. And now, sadly, we abandoned the subsea. I always found that kind of a sad moment in playthroughs of this as a kid, that you just kind of, with no fanfare whatsoever, just abandon your trusty sub. But yeah, now the atmosphere of the game kind of changes a bit. The rest of the we're kind of moving from the tropical islands theme to the ancient ruins. Yeah, what Driscoll Lad said. Like, I'll never forget once when my parents talked me into at least looking into selling some of my NES games as a kid to afford some Super Nintendo games, and I was offered, I think, $5 for my Dragon Warrior 4 card, which I turned down. And I remember their range was 50 cents to $5, which, given that this was in the 90s, so that's a little different scaling than, or a little different of a standard than nowadays. But even in 90s dollars, Dragon Warrior 4 is worth considerably more than $5. Oh, it's my favorite room. Ah. I think I can blame that one on my thumb slipping and pressing down instead of left. Yeah, oh, and then we get introduced to the, I think it's called like the anklet or something. Power up that lets you jump 2 tiles at once, although it's only good for one room. Yeah, exactly, Golbo. I really just even at the time, just the thought that I would ever want to play the game again, and have it knowing that I could, was worth more than $5 to me. think that might be invisible tiles that let you jump on that right platform, but I'm not gonna find out. Hey, Newman. So this is Turboss. Other than the fact that it's a boss, I'm not exactly sure what the Turboss is. But it's basically just a reskin of Octo the Huge, only you have no means of paralyzing it. I think it eventually is supposed to come dive at you. Okay, let's see. I know you can snipe it with the Morning Star from those top platforms, but dodging its shots isn't going to be easy. I also know it's possible to one-cycle Turboss, although I don't know if there's RNG with how long it stays down, or... I know the Turboss one-cycle is not easy. It's not... Okay, so it's just really tight timing then. Guessing you just have to start. You have to like get the first hit as soon as it touches the edge of your range with the Morning Star, and then have like perfect buffered rhythm to get all the remaining hits. Oh, horse hides! Why these were called horse hides instead of baseballs? I never understood as a kid. Oh, I didn't actually hit the door switch yet. Welp, get to do this room again. Get the angle it again now. Something. Can I get these chests again, or? Guessing. Because I know the boss here only takes damage from the horse hides. Oh, and then we've got the cleats. These are my favorite weapons solely because of the noise they make when you use them. Yeah, apparently baseball was a thing in the ancient world when these ruins were constructed. There's a 5-minute video that explains the music patch. Short version, 2 of the music tracks in the normal game are bugged and missing some lines. And this patch fixes that. I do have an actual card of this that I've had since childhood. I'm just playing this on EverDrive so I can use the music patch. Broken Joe, the jokin' bro. Oh, I had. Closer, like this. Got him. Oh, yes, I think this is actually a place where you can get infinite hearts, actually, because I know there's a hidden heart in this area, and something, I think entering and exiting the dungeon will cause the heart to respawn, but it's only actually useful for that specific dungeon, just because the game sets you to a fixed number of hearts at the start of Chapter 7. 19-inning game. It's been long enough since I've seen a baseball game that I'm actually blanking on how many innings there normally are in baseball. Is it 8? I know 19, it's not 19 or anything super close to that. Usually 9, okay, because yeah, the 9th inning stretch, I think, is a thing. And yes, I am bad at sports ball. But yeah, this heart can be respawned, so you can get all, what, 22 hearts, I think, is the max if you really want to, but then you lose them all at the end of Chapter 6. Well, not all of them, but most of them. 7th inning stretch, okay. Main reason I know about the innings, the X inning stretch, is because of the Naked Gun. But if it was Naked Gun 1 or 2 that had assassination plot that was going to take place during the 7th inning stretch. Well, just for curiosity, what's up here? Because I know this is a dead end. You actually have to go through a secret door in the entrance room. Which I guess you're supposed to figure out because the screen scrolls if you actually explore that room. Yeah, because it's just a dead end here. So is Fenway where the New England Patriots play, or is that somewhere else? 'Cause I visited the New England Patriots Stadium when I was in Boston for work a few years ago, just for something to do, basically. 'Cause the area I was in wasn't super far away from New England Patriots' stadium. Okay, Boston Red Sox. This is a fun weapon too, the asterisk. Double shurikens that split when you press B again. Okay, Foxborough sounds familiar. Yeah, the ending theme with the fixed bass line sounds really, really good. I'm looking forward to hearing that. Also, totally not Zelda 1 bubbles. Totally not. I can't actually attack when I'm blinking like this. Oh, really? Wow. So are these homing in on me or just kind of bouncing around willy-nilly? Yeah, it tricks you there into jumping into the water to your death if you just go up like you came over. Oh yeah, this little mini-boss here I believe is instant death if it touches you. Okay, I'm a sucker. Alright, got +2 instead of -1 again. I honestly don't remember if I've ever actually played Zelda Second Quest. I also can't remember if I've ever actually beaten Zelda 2. Maybe someday I'll do both of those just in case. Well, there went a lot of my health in a hurry. There went my life in a hurry. Got some hearts in the checkpoint room along with your asterisks back. Maybe I need to do some sideways asterisks here. I think there's more of them, given that the door hasn't opened yet. You need to keep some asterisks for the boss, which I think only takes damage from that. Totally not Zelda bubbles. I'm actually mildly curious now if there was any overlap in development teams between StarTropics and Zelda 1. What is it? The hidden passage. You don't actually have to kill all the enemies. Need to be the main danger from these things is touching one of them because that's instant death. Oh, we're done, right? We're hearing the victory music. Right. Oh! Not. I remember these guys shooting faster than this. They're not angry enough yet. Well, basically the last kind of real exploration part of the game too. The rest of the game is dungeons and overly long maze-like hallways. I like the continuity of this area too, because we saw the crashed meteorite below, and then there's the hole it fell through, which we also saw from the overworld before we came down here too. Nice the music for finally finding. Certainly fares better than Link's uncle. Oh, that looks scary. I don't want to go there. Wow, this looks pretty different than where I just was. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the ending of StarTropics 2. Alright, fine. Hey! I guess we have overly long linear mountain there. Also, I love this music. Chapter 7 and 8 dungeons. I believe this is by far the hardest dungeon in the game in a speed run too, because getting any of the power-ups and stuff is too far out of the way to be worth it over just YOLOing the hard part. I like how it's kind of a remix of the regular dungeon theme, but has a kind of a different twist too. I think that's where I'm supposed to go. I want to say the white gun does the same damage as the Morning Star, only you can shoot a lot faster. Oh yes, this 7-1 featured pretty prominently in the StarTropics death montage that was in the blooper reel that UA put together for the first SGDQ. No, I died a couple times in Darkwing Duck, but if I die in this game, that'll mean something went horribly wrong, which of course got put into the start of the montage. Yeah, that section right there is ridiculous. If you just go straight there without picking up the pill and gun and stuff. I think it's called the bottleneck. Yeah, the other nice thing about having the white gun is that you can't lose it for taking damage. Yeah, they kinda do, don't they? Thankfully, these don't have shields. Evil shield enemies are in StarTropics 2, though. Yeah, and they kind of look like Zaku's from Gundam too. No, DD, it's not quite time yet. These are maze-like, but they're not overly long, though, to get to the first cube. Alright, get the best weapon in the... Well, the Supernova isn't technically the strongest weapon in the game. The orange gun that I can get in this dungeon is. But the Supernova is the best range. Covers the whole screen. Yeah, the Supernova turns these aliens into schmucks. I don't think I've ever actually seen the Nasty Dungeon in full, too, just because Gyre never goes there when he speedruns it. I have yet to actually play Legend 2 myself, too. This dungeon's basically just kind of a linear trip to the right. Yes. There needs to be more StarTropics games. Nintendo, if you're listening, please make more StarTropics games. Maybe that'll finally convince me to buy a Switch. Hey, Mike Jones is in Link to the Past Randomizer now, so that's easily the next step before getting into Smash. Yeah, that definitely needs sequels too. There aren't a whole lot of other games I can think of besides Crystallis that mysteriously never got a sequel, despite being great and well received. I don't know, we could probably blame SNK wanting to focus more on fighting games and arcade games as far as why ended up being standalone. So yeah, the Say Yes to Drugs pill gives you 22 hearts, but any hearts you have over max gradually go away. Also turns Mike into a berserker. I don't know if you can quite see over the capture, but Mike is very sunburned now. Well, not anymore, because I don't have excess hearts. But yeah, this gun is the most powerful weapon in the game. say that guy dies extremely quickly if you use the lightning gun. Mike Jones is one of the sprites you can pick for Link in the latest version of Link to the Past Randomizer. Like how I'm being showered with hearts in this dungeon to make sure I can use the supernova. You're pretty clearly expected to have it for pretty much all of the fighting that you do in here. I don't think that's instant death, but it hurts if you touch those orange hearts. This is kind of a weird boss too. It's kind of like Crocomire in Super Metroid, where can't actually. Well, I think it is technically possible to kill it by running out its HP, but it would take a very, very long time. Yeah, this is Asteroid. See ya. Alright, it's that time. Hopefully I actually remember where to go through the overly long maze-like hallways. They're just so long. They're just filler. Make the game longer. I don't think there's actually more verses besides that, too. Oh, hit a dead end. A Mikhail AP. Overly long maze-like hallways. Hey, Royal Blue Wizard. Oh, that's not the way to go. See, I think I already go this way. Is this the one that just looped me up? This is different. Okay, this looks familiar now. Oh, when did I say that again? I've heard Empty Eye quote that to me too, but I'm kind of blanking on when exactly I said that. Alright, done with the overly long maze-like hallways. They were even more overly long because I got lost. Hey, 22 hearts. I like what they do with the graphics here on taking off with the spaceship too, still being kind of faithful to the tile set for the overworld. Last chapter. I love this sprite, by the way, too, with the fire. There! And there's the origin of Banana Wing Duckola, too, because how else do you prevent alien mind control but by jamming bananas in your ears? Oh, I kind of lost all my hearts, too, that I just got at the end of Chapter 7. Alright, so Zoda 1... I can shoot him multiple times, but he only takes 1 damage per cycle. Oh, I just made everybody that speedruns this game very, very jealous. Zoda 1 does have a hand attack that he uses to each cycle. And every time he does it, it wastes time. And it kills you instantly if it hits you. Oh yes, is this it? Yes, it's the alien break room. That's what I've always referred to this room as, the alien break room. It's just this room that for no readily obvious reason is filled with Zaku aliens. Yeah, the reactor core coming up is pretty bad. Oops. Now back to the alien break room. At least I can get pull out of it. Okay, at least I got out of the alien break room at full health this time. Yeah, they've got a well-stocked supply of drugs in the alien break room. The one cycle thanks to that last star hitting me. Kept getting trolled. I mean, the whole point of this fight is that you're constantly getting trolled by the enemies. I kept getting close to killing it, and then and an enemy would hit me and mess up my rate of fire. Okay, what was that? 2 hands this time? that rarely seen cutscene of him turning into his true form. Yeah, that was still a really good RNG for a speedrun fight. I mean, just getting a fight where you get more heads than hands, good RNG, because I would assume it's probably 50-50 per cycle what he does. I mean, you only need 4 hits to kill him, and I've heard speedrunners get upwards of like 15 or more. It's gonna redo this until it goes left. This guy is just such a big jerk. Ah, I was so close to a fight for life. It's much easier to use the laser gun than the shooting star, just because you can shoot so much faster, damage faster, which is what matters for the war fight. Oh, thanks, Fight for Life. Yeah, I'll be doing a salty run back of that on next Sunday. I was a bit disappointed in the time I got in that run, but definitely had fun. Glad that the incentives did fairly well too. So I think I can just run under him if he's jumping right. And of course he goes left that time. Oops. Ah! I kind of forgot that it already opens right at the start of the fight, before the core even opens. I mean, it doesn't, because it doesn't have that much health, but it's really, really hard to kill it in one cycle, no matter how much health it actually has, if the enemies troll you badly enough. Oh wait, oh yeah, I have to kill him in order to close it. Maybe I'm thinking, what I'm thinking of is people going under the guy and then shooting him in the back or something. But yeah, my rate of fire is so bad when I'm in hit stun. That thing hit me, I only got like 2 more hits off. Alright, fine, I'm just gonna go in and get healed now. If I die, I have to fight Zoda 1 again. Yeah, that fight is so easy if you get lucky with the enemy movement, and so hard if you don't. I don't think there's any checkpoints at all in this level, by the way, too. Even if I die to the final boss that's after the core, I go all the way back to the beginning. Ah, once again. Cool, because I think there's RNG as far as how many of those, like, shurikens shoot out of the pits at you. You also can't just play it, you can't just use hit and run strats too, because the core heals itself every time it closes. So you're never actually going to kill it unless you get in a lot of hits. Oh! I'm about to say win before I fall again, because I didn't wait long enough. Ah, so close that time. But yeah, that Zaku guy is just all over you, like you owe him money if you, He's either hitting you and preventing you from killing the core, or he's stepping in front of you and blocking your shots that you also can't kill the core. It's so rude. Maybe I need to try to lure him far enough away that he can't get to me in time or something. Yeah, maybe I did. So yeah, this is more like what usually happens to speedrunners when they're on good pace. Get to talk to the hand. The jukes on these Zakus is too good. Alright, this time let me try luring the Zaku away. Maybe I should give it a try with the supernova, because I'm guessing I can probably one-shot the stars with the supernova. Because if any of them hit me at all, it's over, basically. My rate of fire goes down so much, it's basically over that cycle if any of them hit me. I didn't think you could jump over them though. Is the thing. I thought they still hit you. Try to jump them. Could definitely be wrong though. Okay, I guess it doesn't do more damage. Alright. I guess the key was just to shoot the stars. To farm hearts off these lotus spores or whatever they are. The long maze like grinding. Doesn't matter that I only have one life too, just because there's no checkpoints in chapter. Alright, time for Zoda. Oh, Zoda is instant death if touches B. Oh, no. Okay. Kind of scared there. I like how his main method of attack is shooting lasers or something out of his belly button. Almost done. You know he doesn't have that much health. Wait, did the other one just disappear? Okay, he's... I can still keep shooting him even though he's dead. Okay, now he's really dead. One last maze-like hallway here. No time like the present, I guess. Spaceship will explode in 60 seconds. Yeah, he totally survived that. Yeah. We get the actual death sound too. But we're okay. Still in chapter 8 too. Yeah, that dolphin that wouldn't take no for an answer when I was trying to be a jerk. Chapter 2. Alright, so... Well, it's a little bit off, but we're coming up on the other piece of music that's fixed by the patch here, which is when we're talking to the Argonian children. Kind of curious now if what would happen if you like used a cheat to walk through walls and go into that hut, if the stairs to the dungeon are still there or not. Spacey cola. Sounds like a beverage. Back to this. That was spacey cola. I still got the bananas, huh? You drink it and feel much better for one last time. Hey, maybe, you know what, maybe this guy is the wow you've done it voice, finally revealed. Chief Cola really likes ellipses, by the way, because when you actually talk to him at the start of the game, he really likes to hesitate a lot. Also, the hand too. As a kid, I actually, instead of seeing seeing her like holding her thumb and pinky out to the side, I saw her basically holding like either a cigar or a croissant. A banana, yeah! It could very easily be a banana, too. Also, seizure warning, too. Screen's about to go crazy. Okay, this is the fixed music, by the way. The original game, the bass line is missing. Also, I'm a particular fan of the kid in the upper left corner of the group too. He's the Argonian Fonz, because he's just there like, hey, how's it going? Sounds so much better with the bass actually working. Yeah, I played StarTropics 2 as a kid. I only owned StarTropics 1, so I rented StarTropics 2 like once or twice, but I played the first game a lot more. Now for the slideshow. Like the work they put into actually drawing the memorable moments from the game. This kind of reminds me of the ending to Illusion of Gaia too, in the same way. Ugh, that troll dungeon. The not Castlevania bats in the sky. Yeah, he didn't look too happy about that whole turn of events. Oh yes. Yeah. 90s era ERM. So yeah, there, like, I mean, why does the ship need to be sunk in order for the sub to go through the straits with the way they have that depicted? Broken Joe, the Jokin' Bro. Looks even more like a Zaku in that picture. And our hero with bananas in his ears. We'll reveal his real name after and the true hero of this story, Banana Wing Dacola.